It's time for Baby and Toddler Instructions with host Blythe Lipman. Blythe is a nationally renowned infant and toddler expert who has over 30 years' experience helping moms and dads regain their sanity, teaching them how to survive, and giving them the confidence they need to be the best parents ever. From sleeping to crying to potty training to choosing a preschool and so much more. If you're a parent, Baby and Toddler Instructions is the show you've been looking for. Now here's your host, Blythe Lipman.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, evening, happy Wednesday, wherever you are. I'm so happy you could tune in to Baby and Toddler Instructions. Today is my 196th show. Yippee! I can't wait to get to 200. We'll have to have a party. Anyway, thanks to you, all my wonderful listeners. 26,000 of you downloaded my show in March. Thank you so much. Keep tuning in and make sure to contact me if you want to be a guest on the show or if you know someone that has some expertise with babies, toddlers, parenting. Let me know. Go to my website, babyinstructions.com, or my new website, mybestparentingadvice.com, and go to the contact page and send me an email. Love my guests, and I'm very excited today because it's the first of the month, not April Fool's Day, so no jokes today. And as you all know, I have Connie Grunning from Peanut Butter and Wine, WHINE, on the show the first Wednesday of each month to tell us what's hot and what's not in April. So she'll be with us in just a few minutes. First, I have to say the weather. I'm only going to say one word about Arizona. Beautiful. That's it, because there's terrible earthquakes in California, terrible earthquakes in Chile yesterday, and the mudslide. You know what? I hope everybody stays safe and this weather breaks. I mean, it's crazy this year. So anyway, Connie will be with us in just a few minutes. And my second guest is Bob Hubbard from the Hubbard Family Swim School. And he's going to be talking all about water safety, pool watchers, and so much more. I thought it will put a smile on everybody's face to have somebody on the show to talk about summer, because it'll be here before we know it. And you know what? Keeping your kids safe is so important around the water. So Bob will be with us after the commercial. What else do I have to tell you? Well, we have a busy show today, but I do want to share one tip from my book, because I like to share tips every week from my books. From Help, My Baby Came Without Instructions, and today it's Help, My Toddler Came Without Instructions. Quick tip. If you have a toddler, toddlers want to do everything by themselves. It's so important for their self-esteem to give them choices, but just make sure if you're going to give them a choice, don't give them too many. 2 choices. Do you want to wear the blue shirt or the red shirt to school? Do you want cereal or do you want a granola bar for breakfast? Don't give them 15 choices. And, if they make a choice, be consistent and have them stick with it, because consistency is the name of the game. I don't care how old your children are. Be consistent in whatever you do. So that's my tip from Help. My Toddler Came Without Instructions. And again, you can order my book on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com. It's on Audible, so somebody can read it to you. It works on all your devices, your phones. It's Moby friendly. So also makes great gifts. Recalls, there weren't any recalls this week that had to do with baby or toddler things, but if you go to cpsc.gov, you will see recalls on everything, adult things, lights, whatever it is. But also I put the recalls on my websites, and they are all up to date with the phone numbers and the email contacts. But if you have anything that doesn't seem right, the screws are loose, there's strings hanging off of something your children wear, take it away. Don't try to fix it yourself. Anyway, so no recalls for today. And I want to tell you one more thing before I welcome Connie to the show. I don't know if you would know about my very special newborn that's part of my new website, mybestparentingadvice.com. His name is Jake, and he's a newborn. He decided he would like to tell all of you what it's like to be a baby, because how would we know how it feels? We're all grown up. So if you visit my site, you can see his post. And poor little Jake, this week he has a cold, and he shared some things that his mommy did to make him feel better. You will fall in love with Jake just like I did. So go to mybestparentingadvice.com and look at the blog, and you'll see this week it says, achoo, I have my first cold. Poor little Jake. Anyway, so without further ado, I want to know what's hot and what's not in April with Connie Grunning from Peanut Butter and Wine. That's Whine, even though the other kind's good too sometimes. So Connie, good morning. Welcome to the show. I'm so happy it's April and you're here with us. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Good morning. So I'll get started right away. The first thing I have is a $600 giveaway to Disney. It's a Disney card. It'll be $500 to one winner and $100 to another winner, which would be awesome. And when you go to Disneyland, if your child if you have a girl and she can wear a princess dress, I'm telling you, she would have a blast. We just took my 2-year-old granddaughter up to Disneyland, and she had a great time. And even, like, the people that clean the streets stopped her and asked her to sign their autograph book.
Oh, how cute.
She's a princess.
Oh,
I love that.
Are there pictures on your site of Alice with her princess?
No, not yet. And she will have a new princess dress coming up from Costume Super Center. It's a Belle princess costume. So there will be pictures. They just aren't up now. So that gift card for Disney is good for the Disney store, for the Disney website, or Disneyland itself.
Wow,
so
great.
Okay, and then I have emerald earrings, which would be perfect for the Easter basket. I'm giving away 5 pair of those. And then the next one, this one really isn't for children, but it is in a way. This is their wine bottle tiki torches. And these are made by Kelly and Mike, whose son is fighting cerebral palsy. So this is their way to get extra money and to pay for the hospital bills and everything for their son Levi. So go and enter those. I get to give away a 4-pack. So that's pretty exciting. And that's a good cause right there.
That's a great cause.
And I also have the Lowe's, $50 Lowe's gift card. So that'd be something good for Dad. Maybe get the baby room, all the stuff fixed up in there. That one ends tomorrow morning at 2 o'clock. So be sure and enter that one right away. Let's see, what else do I have? I have a winecation giveaway.
Yay, I entered that one. That was a good one.
Oh, doesn't that one sound nice? And you get to there's 4 people for this one. The details, you have to go check the website. The details for this one is awesome. You get a stay at a luxury Villa Terra Nova. It's located in Sonoma Wine Country. You get a behind-the-scenes private tour of the vineyards with the winemaker David Munskerd. You get a VIP chef's dinner. You get round-trip airfare, luxury transportation, and so many surprises. So that one's a good one to enter, and that one's super easy and super fast to enter, too. This month, I seem to have more for parents than I do for the kiddos. I have heart-shaped coasters, which are super cute. These would be great for either a wedding or a baby shower, or anytime you want special little heart-shaped coasters with the word love on them. So that's a good one. Majestical gift card. This one's a jewelry store, and they have everything from costume jewelry to real jewelry, and you get, I'm hoping to get a $60 giveaway card for the winner on that one. I also have, of course, my 2 that I sponsor by myself, which is a $35 gift card, which is PayPal or to, I'll send you whatever gift card you want. You want iTunes, you want an Amazon, $35, that's whatever your way you want it. And I also do a diamond candle, which you burn the candle and there's jewelry inside. I do both of those every month, and all I ask for are a couple of clicks. And let's see, what else do I have coming? I don't have a lot for kids this time. I just don't.
It's okay. We parents or grandparents, we need some of these, wine getaways. You have a cute little butter crock on there that's really adorable.
Oh, the butter crock. This thing defies gravity for me. The butter is in the lid. You pull the lid out, and the butter is there, and it sets on the little stand that's on the lid. The lid's a stand, and it
This is
also
so
will hold
cute.
your butter knife. And you put water in the crock, and I promise you, we've been using it for about a month now. You change out the water every 3 days, every 4 days. It's soft butter anytime, every time it sits out on the counter. It's as cute as can be, and the butter never falls out.
It's
ever.
so cute. It's red. I'm looking at your site right now. It's so cute. I mean, really cute. You know, years ago, people never put butter in the refrigerator.
Exactly. Why do we now? But this one you don't have to either. And the butter is soft and it never goes bad. It defies gravity how it's staying in the lid. I don't understand. I do not understand. And
No.
I mentioned the emerald earrings. There's also a coupon on the site, on my blog, that you can get a pair of lavender earrings, which would be super cute for your Easter baskets or anyway, there's a way to get those. So you can I'm giving away 5 of the emerald post earrings. And those are 6 millimeters around, so that's a good size. And it's a beautiful color, green. Oh, they're so pretty. And the lavender ones are beautiful, and you can get those just for the shipping. And I think you can buy up to 3 pair for just shipping. So that's a good one to look at, too.
You know, we don't have much time left. I think we have, I don't know, maybe a minute or so. Tell my listeners, how do they enter these contests? Because people don't exactly know.
Okay, so you go to my site. There is a giveaway tools, and it gives you, if you have to do something that the sponsor wanted, then that'll be a mandatory. And you'll have to do it before you can continue on. Otherwise, it's just click to begin, and it'll say, tell me something else you would like to look at, like to love, or like to own at their website. So that one is there. And then the next ones are like them on Twitter, like them on Facebook, like me. You can vote for me on the Picket Fence, top giveaway blogs.
Yes, we all need to vote for you. It's so easy. You know what? I love your site. It's so easy. I'm going in and I'm going to keep trying to get that wine giveaway.
Oh, good.
And the butter crock. So much
Yeah.
fun. We have about 30 seconds left. How is Alice and how's everything else? I love having you on the show. Everybody good?
Everybody is awesome. Alice is perfect in every way. I love my job.
Yay. Well, you know what, Connie? Thank you so much. We will see you in May. Gosh, it just seems so
Awesome.
far away. Thanks
All
for
right.
being on the show. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
We'll be right back with more Help My Baby Came Without Instructions. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. We'll be right back right after these.
Have you ever wondered if you're normal or why you feel distant from your partner? Then join us for Sex Talk with Lou with your host Lou Paget on TogiNet Wednesday nights 9/8 Central. Do you want to recreate a truly connected relationship or wonder, how do I tell my kids about things? Join Lou Paget, one of the world's best-selling authors in the field of sexuality, a certified sex educator and sought-after expert for all media, and her renowned expert guests as they discuss anything and everything about sex that impacts our lives and our families' lives. For more on Lou, check out her website, loupaget.com. This is the show where the best experts in the field of sexuality and sexual health can finally give you the answer to that question. Join us for Sex Talk with Lou with your host, Lou Paget, Wednesday nights at 9/8 Central on TogiNet.com.
Homeschooling? Have questions? Get your pen and paper ready. It's the sociable homeschooler, Vivian McNinney. Fridays at 4 Central on TogiNet.com. After a handsome blue-eyed Texan fell in love with Vivian at the Victoria Station in London, she found herself at DFW Airport with a tiny suitcase and a snazzy little duffel bag. Well, 25 years later, she is now happily married to that blue-eyed cowboy. They have 4 grown children ages 24 to 18 who became willing guinea pigs when she unwittingly stumbled upon the world of homeschooling. Wildflower Academy flourished for 15 years. They survived and thrived, and you can too. Vivian will be covering a wide range of issues that face homeschoolers. What do you do with kids in the summer? How to set up your one-room schoolhouse? How obedience is paramount? And what to do with those snakes? Plus, you'll be sharing ideas and insights that she gleaned from other homeschoolers. So join us for an engaging hour with the sociable homeschooler, Vivian McNinney. Friday afternoons at 4 Central on TogiNet.com.
Welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet, the hour for all moms with little ones to come for great advice, encouragement, and great ideas for all new parents. Now, back to the show with Blythe Lipman.
Well, welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions. I'm so happy you could tune in today. I want to tell you a little bit about my guest. His name is Bob Hubbard, and he has 8 children, 16 grandchildren with his wife, and co-owner of the Hubbard Family Swim School and Hubbard Summer Sports Camps. Bob grew up in Brooklyn, New York, developed his passion for swimming while working as an ocean lifeguard. He received his BS in psychology from Xavier University and a law degree. After lots of careers, in 1998, Bob and Kathy founded the Hubbard Family Swim School, which is in lots of locations. And in 1999, they opened their first indoor swim school in Phoenix and operate 4 of them, 3 here in Arizona, 1 in Ohio, and 4 summer camp locations throughout the Phoenix metro area. Bob's been involved with the U.S. Swim School since 1998. And Kathy is currently the chairperson of the U.S. Swim School Association Infant Toddler Committee, and they have been keynote speakers for 2005, 10, 13 Swim Australia Conference. Wow, that's great. And the Hubbards are frequent presenters at conferences throughout the U.S. and have spoken internationally in Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, and Sweden. And I am so happy Bob is on the show. Bob, can you hear me, or it sounds like you're building a house?
No, I can hear you great. I'm sitting in a hotel room in California at the moment.
Oh, great. How's the weather there?
Crisp in Palm Springs, actually at a camping conference. So trying to learn a little bit new stuff.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Well, I'm so happy you can be on the show. Do you want to add anything to the bio? You've done much.
No. My mother and father would have been proud of that list.
You know what? I'm sure they're proud of it. I'm sure they're clapping up there wherever they are. Anyway, it's funny to talk about water safety now when you think about people that still are getting out of the snow, but it is so important, and I'm happy you could be on the show today because with the bad weather in so many different parts of the country, I wanted to make people smile and start thinking about the summer. And, if you're not in Arizona or if you belong to a swim school like the Hubbard Swim School that has indoor pools. It's water safety is so important. And
yeah, Blythe, if I can interrupt you for a second, I got to tell you, as we look at the drowning incidents, so many of them happen at the cusp of the weather. There's a lot of drowning incidents that occur in the early spring when people start filling their pools, or it's just warm enough for the kids to be outside, or even in the fall. In Phoenix, we've already had 5 childhood drownings this year.
I know.
And it's so hard to hear those stories. So vigilance, fences, those things are so crucial if you're around water.
It is. I know. I just shake my head when I hear the news and I hear another child has drowned. I mean, the first thing you want to say is why, and where are the parents, or who was watching them, or whatever. I mean, is it still a law in Arizona that you either have to have a fence around your pool, or you have to have a door with the doorknob that's higher?
It's a little complicated because there's houses that are grandfathered in. If you buy a new house, and I'm going to paraphrase here, but if you buy a new house and you have children under 5 or 6 in your home, you can be required to put a fence up. But people with no children in their home who have visitors don't. If you already own your home, there's no way to force you to do it, those type of things. So, it does get picked up in transfers of real estate, but it's not a mandatory. You can't force it backwards at the moment.
What about this door? I mean, I know I lived in a home and they had the door, and the doorknob was really high, and all I could picture is a young child pushing the chair over and trying to open the door.
Yeah, I mean, and we love to teach swimming. Obviously, it's our passion and it's our career. But I will tell you honestly that statistics tell us that 95 to 97% of drownings, are happen when there's a breached barrier, a gate propped open, people are doing landscaping, cutting bushes. They're moving back and forth. They prop the gate open. The child disappears. The door, just like you said, the child moves the chair over by the door, or the window latch, the window that goes out into your unfenced yard, or things like that. So our recommendation is always, if you have a pool, secure it. We work with a program that we call Safer 3, which is a national program and tied a lot into some school association. But it talks about safer water, safer kids, safer response. Learn to swim, secure your pool, know what to do if something happens. But, the operative word there is safer. A toddler is never safe in the water alone or around the water.
No, you know what? And it only takes a second. And what I want to get right into this, because I promote this a lot. I couldn't wait to talk to you about this. People don't know what a pool watcher is and why you need a pool watcher, and it's so important. Can you tell my listeners about having a pool watcher?
Yeah. We in the industry call pool watcher, water watcher, and you work with a theory that when everybody's watching, nobody's watching. You have that backyard party and the kids are in the pool and everybody's engaged and having it. And, alcohol doesn't have to be involved, but, all of a sudden a little child, slips off a step or they're not aware. And what we do is, my son has a pool. He has a key and a lock on his pool. Attached to his pool is a chain, like a rope with a water watcher tag. So anytime he opens the pool, the water watcher tag goes with it. And just rotate it. Put it around your neck. It's a little, we actually do it at one of our camps where we build a water watcher tag, and you use yarn and some ziti and, a drawing of a lifeguard or whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be fancy, but it's just a little reminder. And even myself as a professional, when it's my turn to, in the family parties or barbecues to be the water watcher for 10 or maybe 15 minutes, my vigilance ramps up. I'm much, much more aware. So, taking that little time and designating one person, there's even incidents of very, very famous people having children's parties and losing a child because somebody isn't paying attention. So thinking about when you do enter that pool gate or that pool area, have somebody on board. One of our staff members, in fact, had almost the greatest job in college. She was the lifeguard for the University of Arizona swim team. Now, here's a team that's rated top 5 in the country every year. And Katie, was in the chair for every, most workouts. Yeah, they had a lifeguard at every workout. These are highly competent adult swimmers, 18 to 22, 23 years old. But they're aware, the university is aware, that something can happen at any time. A coach can be distracted. And you know what? If that level of swimmer recognizes the need for designated watching, you can't, in our backyard pools recreationally, you need to be aware.
It's, it's so important. And by the way, if you're listening live to the show and you have a question for Bob or for me, or you just want to chat, please call us at 877-864-4869, or you can go to the chat line at toginet.com. The number is 877-864-4869. Write it on your hand with a pen if you have to, but not while you're in the car driving, please. Anyway, it's interesting because you can't assume, and because my expertise are baby and toddlers, I even tell parents, when you have that party inside, even if you don't have a pool, don't assume somebody else is watching your child. Never assume. You have to know who is in charge of your children all the time, because it only takes a second. So when we talk about water safety and pools, that pool watcher, water watcher is just so important. What do you think? How long do you think somebody should be the water watcher? And how old should they be? Suppose you have a 12-year-old and you make them the water watcher.
Knowing some of my adult friends, a 12-year-old might do a better job. But, you want to make it 10, maybe 15 minutes. You really don't want to ruin somebody's afternoon and the freshness of it. If you're at a public pool and you watch lifeguards, they rotate chairs and positions every 20 minutes. You don't see people in a chair for an hour. You see them there for 15 or 20 minutes, and then, they even rotate. Sometimes they're sitting, sometimes they take a standing position. So variety and just, again, 12, 15 minutes, and then pass it on. And then that way, you always have fresh eyes on the pool. And I would say, honestly, depending upon the age, but, I would always, particularly if it's toddlers, drift towards an adult or somebody, responsible who is going to pay attention.
Right.
A lot of young people that are trained as lifeguards are awesome because they get the training. They learn how to scan the pool, and they through the various programs, they become much more aware, and they get in the habit of it.
Absolutely. You know what? And make sure they can swim, because I just have this picture of you have a wonderful family get together, and you have grandma or grandpa, and they're kind of getting up in age, so they're not walking around and they're kind of sitting. Don't make them the pool watcher. I mean, what?
Yeah, that brings an interesting point. One of the programs that part of the Safer 3 we also talk about is the reach or throw, don't go. If you're not a competent swimmer and there's you need to get in the water and it's beyond standing depth, have a noodle, have a pole, have something that or even a noodle you could throw or a kickboard you could throw to the person. Most of the time, people aren't drowning; they're just getting tired. Maybe they get a little nervous. So think about, if you're not a strong swimmer, don't compound the problem by getting in the water and making it worse. Have tools, have a ring, as silly as it is, have a ring buoy on your backyard pool so you could throw it to somebody in distress and they could, climb on it or hold on to it so you could pull them over to the side.
That's such a good tip. You know what? You can get a noodle in any store. I mean, I know in Arizona, the noodles and the swim stuff has been out for a month here. And if you live in a climate that it's not out, as soon as you see them, Walmart, Target, everybody has a noodle. They only cost a couple dollars. It's so important to have something out there. Bob, that's such a great tip. We're going to break for a commercial in just a few seconds. And when we come back, I want to talk to you about swim lessons and when we should start to teach our little ones to swim. So we will be right back.
We'll be right back with more help. For help, my baby came without instructions. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. We'll be right back right after these. We often ask, is that all there is? Why is this happening to me? Why am I always broke? How am I going to survive this mess? Then join Dr. Geraldine Tegeloff for Nature Spirit Speak, 7 p.m. Tuesday evenings on TogiNet.com. Geraldine is a metaphysician, nature intuitive, and prosperity coach who shares with you how she went from totally broke to living what she would call her perfectly prosperous life. Through the combination of a wealth of metaphysical knowledge and her amazing ability as an intuitive, Geraldine brings to you the secrets of her magical journey of healing emotionally, spiritually, and financially. As with the ancient seers and master teachers, Geraldine has a unique gift of being able to connect to the simple yet profound messages brought to us by Mother Nature, and happily shares these through today's note to self on her webpage, naturespiritspeak.com. If you need help with your journey, why not connect with Geraldine during her show, Nature Spirit Speak, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
Familia, faith, identity, tradición. Latina life is never boring, but it can be muy dramática. So how do you coexist between the old school ways of la abuela and the new school life you're creating for yourself without losing your faith, familia, identity, or tradiciones? Welcome to Living Latina with Francesca Escoto, where culture curls and curves collide in one spicy cross-cultural conversation that will leave you begging for más. Francesca tackles all the important issues, from politics to family values to religion to, you guessed it, relationships and men. As Chief Everything Officer at the Wow Factor, Francesca is passionate about showing women of all cultures, ages, and lifestyles how to rock what they've got with style, sass, and smarts. Be sure to join her every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for Living Latina, only on the Woohoo Radio Network.
Welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet, the hour for all moms with little ones to come for great advice, encouragement, and great ideas for all new parents. Now, back to the show with Blythe Lipman.
Well, welcome back to the show. I'm here with my wonderful guest, Bob Hubbard, the owner of the Hubbard Family Swim School, and he has 8 children, 16 grandchildren, and he and his wife own this terrific swim school that's been around for so long, and I'm so happy he's on here today because, you know, being around the pool is lots of fun, but it's so important to know what to do, when to give your children swim lessons. Suppose you can't swim. Anyway, Bob, let's talk a little bit about when children should get swimming lessons. And my biggest question that I always get, what do you do if your little one's scared of the water and they're screaming and parents trying to make them sit on the step or whatever? How do your teachers handle that? And when do we start?
Well, we would tell you to start as early as possible. And honestly, we tell you to start in the bathtub and the shower at home. Aside from safety, there's just a ton of new evidence that supports the fact that exposing a child to water, letting them float in the tub, letting the water run on their body, letting them play in the tub and learn how to splash, all lead to brain development. Griffin University, not to get too technical, but Griffin University in Australia studied 7,000 kids, 700 of which were at our swim school. Big surveys, 4-year thing, and they came out last May with a definitive statistical study that said children who are engaged in swim lessons on a regular basis under the age of 4 are testing smarter 12 months physically ahead of their peers, okay, non-swimming, and 15 months ahead in cognitive ability. So, you know, they're brighter, faster, stronger, honestly, and it's empirical, and it goes across socioeconomic lines. It doesn't matter. Exposure to the water, in the ocean, in a lake, in a pool, in a tub. You know, I have grandkids that live in Cincinnati, and we have a swim school there, but they're only in the pool one day a week with that, but they, you know, their mom has them in the tub all the time, and they're playing together. And in the beginning, getting in the tub as a mom or dad with the baby, and it sounds weird, but you can float the baby, you can do different things. We believe so much in this that we have a free program called Baby Splash, where we have parents come between the ages of 2 months and 6 months once a week for free, just to get them in the water and talk about it. So after that, you know, again, finding a parent-taught class somewhere. Blythe, in answer to your question, the thing that I hear parents tell children today is stranger danger and stay away from the pool. So if you have a 3-year-old toddler who hasn't been exposed to the pool, hasn't been in early swim lessons, the parent doesn't want to get in the water, or they didn't have an opportunity to, what do? They bring the child to the pool and give them to a stranger. And you're sitting there saying, of course this child is going to be stressed. We're violating everything that we talked to him about. So finding a program as early as possible to get your child in the water has great, safety benefits. The National Institute of Health did a study 6 years ago that said when a child gets in swim lessons at an early age, not only does the child become safer, but the parents become safer. They learn about, their child's ability, and they don't get overconfident, which was a fear that the doctors actually had. The pediatricians were worried that if you get a child in the water too soon, they're going to become overconfident. But the opposite is true. They begin to learn the consequences of getting in the water. They learn good habits around the water, waiting to be invited, counting 1, 2, 3, or saying ready, go. so that they're not just launching themselves into the water. So there's a huge amount of benefit to the family and to the child that comes to getting in the water early.
That's interesting, too, because children really pick up on their parents' fears. And if you have a parent that doesn't know how to swim, the body language, that's, and even the words that they say to their little ones can really be damaging, can it?
Oh, absolutely. We have children that a parent will come in to us and say, well, he had a drowning incident. Well, our antenna goes up and, was he hospitalized? How did it happen? How long was he under? Well, he was under for 2 seconds, and we grabbed him. Well, that's not a drowning incident. That's a step off a step, But the child has been ingrained. Oh, don't go near the pool. You almost drowned. Or don't. And the tone of the parent's voice. We talk to our staff, and particularly even in our parent talk classes, about the concept of mirroring, where if mom or dad has an anxious face and is ready to do something with the child, take him under or, push him to the wall, and mom's worried or holding on too tightly, it's going to translate to the child a lot. In our programming, what we believe, honestly, is our student with the parent talk classes, our student is the parent. The parent is the teacher of their child. That's why research again says under the age of 2.5, the child's closest relationship is with their parent or their caregiver or their grandmother, grandfather. So that's why in our belief it's so important to help the parent become the teacher of their child so everybody has good habits when they're in the pool.
And as you're talking, I'm sitting here thinking, just remembering my children's faces when they said ready, set, go, and jumped into my arms in the pool, because we're water people. And when you see your child's face and they're so excited and their self-esteem is great because they can jump in the pool, there's nothing better.
Oh, it's fantastic. I'm here with my daughter, Anne-Marie, and we actually have 3 of her children with us. We're here at a camping conference about sports camps and summer camps and getting ready for the summer. But she has her children with her, and she has a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old that are with us and a new baby. And the 3-year-old was debating with her older brother her level of swimming last night at dinner. Her thing was, I'm a lobster, you're not, and where there, that sense of accomplishment, that sense of pride. And honestly, and as you alluded to earlier, we have a bunch of kids. We had 4 of our children go to college on athletic and academic rides. 2 female soccer players, a male gymnast, and a female swimmer. I love sports. We love our camp. Swimming is the only sport you can do well under the age of 4. You watch swarm ball at soccer, you watch t-ball, you watch all those other games that my kids have played, and they've played them well. But swimming is the only sport, and maybe climbing, okay? You have an active boy or girl that's a climber, but you can excel at a certain level. Nothing, you're not going to be in races, but you can be an accomplished swimmer at 3 or 4 and comfortable in the water. We're not looking at racing up and down the pool, but where you can be safe. Kathy had Molly and Kevin in the water here at the hotel last night while Anne-Marie and I were in a meeting. And, she was able to sit on the side with a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, independent in the water playing around. Again, she's right there, right on the edge of the pool, but they were in the pool for an hour and she never had to touch them.
Wow. And the other thing that we need to say too, that one-on-one time with your children is so important. There's nothing better. And to just, even whether she was in the pool or not, just to be with the 2 children. They grow up so fast, as with 8 children.
Well, I'll take it even a different direction, but you're so right. One of the problems we have in America today is lack of skin-to-skin contact. These kids are sitting in car seats. I gave a talk recently. An average American child is spending an hour and 40 minutes in a car seat. Now, we've made them safer, but what have we done? They're facing backwards. They don't have any visual stimulation. They're looking at the back of their car. They're looking at the ceiling of the car. And then parents are transferring them to be a little bit critical. They're taking them from the car seat, putting them in the car seat in the stroller, and they're leaving them in there. They're not carrying them. They're not getting tummy time. We're not The kids aren't, we're so worried about SIDS that kids aren't crawling. They're crawling late. So time, one, in the water, skin to skin, even in the tub or even in the shower with your child is amazing. And then, getting them moving where they can feel your skin, feel the fabric of your bathing suit, get independent. We have little kids that are pushing away because they want that freedom. They want that motion in the water. But it's a great bonding time. And honestly, I would tell you that different than my generation of parenting, in the evenings we teach until 7:30 at night, and we call it the pajama class. The classes are at 6, 6:30, and 7. Almost 70% of our parents in our parent-taught classes in the evening are the dads, and it's awesome. It's their chance. Again, I know we have a lot of working moms, but again, I understand moms carry oftentimes much more of the burden or the responsibility. So it's great to see the dads in the water. It honestly calms them down because I think sometimes the dads are the ones who give the kids bad habits, throwing them in the air, letting them jump without control, those type of things, where we're working with dad on good habits in the pool, and mom too, but getting everybody more comfortable and safe.
You know what? That's so great because, again, dads don't always seem to have as much time to spend with the kids, and that one-on-one is so important. But I wanted to share something because one of my tips, we're going to have another commercial soon, but when we come back, I want to talk to you about what you do with children that are fearful. However, one of the tips that I've used a lot of times with some of the children I've taken care of, if they don't like water, and I have this tip in my book, is to get swimming goggles and let them wear the swimming goggles in the bathtub or in the shower until they get used to it, and make it fun. Because you know what? It's a fact of life. We have water. It gets hot. It is summer. Whether they're playing in the hose or whether they're in a pool or you're at the ocean, we want to keep them safe, and you don't want them afraid. So you know what? You can get swim goggles and let them wear them in the bathtub. And I started that tip because babies sometimes toddlers don't like to have soap in their eyes or water in their eyes when you wash their hair. And if they wear the goggles, it's a lot easier to wash their hair because once they start crying, bath time's not fun and it's all over. And, so that's one of my favorite tips with the swimming goggles. It's easy, it's fun, and then you go the next step, and maybe they don't need them when they go to the pool, and they're not afraid of the water. So when we come back, we're going to continue to talk to Bob Hubbard from the Hubbard Family Swim School. We will be right back.
We'll be right back with more Help My Baby Came Without Instructions. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. We'll be right back right after these. Join us for Self-Aid Success Stories with Helen Wu, Wednesday nights at 10, 9 Central on toginet.com. Helen Wu was born and raised in San Francisco's Chinatown, and after a very difficult upbringing, fighting depression, abuse, and addictions, she finally finds herself genuinely happy inside and out. Helen believes in taking our positive thinking and doing something positive to achieve a positive outcome. She's here to make a positive difference in your life, to be your game changer, your aha moment mentor. She's ready to help both men and women get into a better place. Helen Wu is also the author of Self-Aid Success Stories, 25 success stories from successful entrepreneurs. Inspired by Ellen DeGeneres, Helen wants the world to know that just because we find ourselves in a difficult situation doesn't mean we have to stay there. We can aid ourselves to a better life. So join us for Self-Aid Success Stories with Helen Wu, Wednesday nights at 10, 9 Central on toginet.com.
Finally, a show that supports women who are in the midst of a transition in midlife. The show is Second Wind. Here's what certified coach, author, and host of Second Wind, Joyce Buford, wants you to know.
It's so empowering for women to hear about other women and their accomplishments.
We all need cheerleaders, someone who's on our side.
Second Wind is that program to help women connect with other women, hear other women's stories.
In a stressful world,
Find power in those stories.
learn to discover your passions and joys again. Create the life you want to live to the fullest. Join us for Second Wind with Joyce Buford, Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Central, right here on the TogiNet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet, the hour for all moms with little ones to come for great advice, encouragement, and great ideas for all new parents. Now, back to the show with Blythe Lipman.
Well, welcome back. I can't believe we're up to the last part of the show. You still have time to call us at 877-864-4869 if you're listening live. If you're listening to the podcast, we're not here. You can't call, but you can go to the website, babyinstructions.com or mybestparentingadvice.com and contact me. And also make sure to listen to all the other great shows on TogiNet. I love the shows. Anything you could think of. We have wonderful hosts with such great expertise. So I was talking about swim goggles, how I tell parents to use them with their toddlers if they don't like their hair washed or they're in the shower. So, Bob, we were talking during the break about outside pools.
Well, I think, yeah, Blythe, I think a lot of times I find that an outside pool has a little bit higher concentration of chlorine than maybe a professional pool like where we're testing it 3 times a day and things like that. So, one, I think goggles in your backyard pool are fine. And if you get the UV protection, at least in Phoenix, that helps for eye protection and things like that, which is so important today. And you alluded to earlier, using them in the tub. I think it's great. I mean, you can play games in the tub. I had a friend who went to like Michael's or one of those, stores and got the little like clear silver stones or glass beads, the plastic ones, and put them. She had a child that was struggling a little bit, and she put them on the bottom of the tub and gradually raised the depth of the tub, and the child would begin, putting his face in the water to look for him. And all of a sudden, he's underwater looking all around, and she added new toys at the bottom of the pool or some of these flat plastic toys that you can add. So, finding a way to do that. The other thing that you mentioned is a child that doesn't like water on their head or on their face. One of the things that we've done, and we actually take just a plastic cup. At home, you can take a yogurt cup, clean it out, drill, just with a little pin, put 8 or 10 holes at the bottom of it, and take the cup while your child is in the tub, fill it with water, count 1, 2, 3, roll, let the water go down their shoulders. And what I would tell you is start from back to front. So don't just pour it right down their face, but let them get used to the water running over the back of their head and then over the middle of their head. And then eventually you'll find that they get used to it, running right down the front of their head. And you can get in the shower. Hold it, baby, and 1, 2, 3 under, let it go on the back of their head. 1, 2, 3 under. And this may take a couple of days, under, over the front of their face. So, you begin getting them used to that wet stimulation. And finally, the other thing is if you have a child that's a little bit nervous about that, letting them play on the step before you ask them to do something. We see parents get too aggressive. A child's in swim lessons and they're swimming across the pool. That's at the end of class, after we've warmed up, after we've done stuff. So really, I would encourage parents to have playtime on the step with the toddler, have exploration time, and don't expect them to jump in right away and engage in full swimming activities.
I love your tip about the water going down the back, because I always tell new parents when they first start giving the baby a bath, start with the feet. Don't ever start with the head, because if they don't like it, it's all over. Forget it. So great tip about pouring the water down the back. Do you remember years ago, they used to have swim classes at the Y, and they used to tell you to throw the baby in because they're used to being in the, in with all the water.
Yeah. It was, there's so many, we have so many parents who come to us moderately traumatized from their prior experiences that they're anxious to get their children more comfortable. Research tells us, again, that 65% of adults are uncomfortable in water over their heads. And that's a sad thing when, 75% of the world is made of water? You're giving, and one of the things I would say, we talk a lot about skills to last a lifetime. And this isn't just safety. the opportunity to swim, enjoy the water. Obviously, in Phoenix, at 6 and 7, it's a social thing, even as teenagers and things like that. But, the aspect of the world. We were on a trip about a year and a half ago, and one of my grandkids was with us. He's 6 years old. We had him 200 or 300 yards out in the ocean with a noodle and a mask and flippers, and we're snorkeling out there. He saw a turtle that was probably 4 feet in diameter. I mean, it's a memory that he's carried back with him for years. It's just fantastic. Blythe, I'd like to throw in before we lose our time, one other thing I would tell you about home safety. Two things, really. One, under the Safe for Three program, we encourage people to keep a phone out by the pool. If something does happen, even in 90% of the time it's a slip or fall or something like that you don't want to have to go looking for that phone. So put it out there. And weirdly enough, in today's world, we used to pick up the phone and dial 911, and we had landlines, and the fire department knew where they were going. Now, with a cell phone, they don't. And they say, well, I'm at Grandma's house, or I'm at Bob's house. Well, they don't know. So we've actually started telling some of our clients to put your address, as silly as this sounds, put your address out by your pool. So that if something does happen, if you can't answer the question or something like that, or you're scrambling, you just look at the sign on the fence that says, here's the address, and if you have an emergency, there you go.
That is the greatest tip, because it's true. You get nervous, God forbid something happens, and you just go blank and you don't know what to do. And, but on the other end of the stick, I do need to say this. Don't talk on the phone when you're at the pool with your children in the summer and you think they're okay on the step. Because I've seen that. I'm sure you have too. I've seen, parents are sitting next to their child with a cell phone.
There's a great Bill Keane Family Circus editorial cartoon where the dad's sitting on the chair and his head's swiveling back and forth, and he's got a book and a phone. That's why, going back to our primary point in the beginning, the water watcher is so important. Pick the water watcher, make that their responsibility for 12 or 15 minutes, and then share it.
And then use your phone when you're not the water watcher.
Exactly.
Such great tips. What
I'll tell you to play with your kids,
Yeah.
I don't know how many parents I've talked to who don't have a phone because they fell in the pool. So, use this time. Like you said earlier, this is a huge time to be with your kids and honestly, to be with them. Whoever you're talking to, you can talk to them later.
Exactly. You know what? We didn't always have cell phones. And sometimes it was better. We used to write letters, and don't even get me started with that one. With that. And I love technology. I love all my devices, but that's another topic for another day. Let me ask you quickly, what do you do when you get a child that comes to the pool and they are screaming bloody murder and they don't want to get near the step and they don't want to get near the pool? And the mom either carries them and puts them there, or, she gets upset. What do you do when you have a parent and a child situation that happens?
Well, I think one, prepping people, but two, this is going to sound odd, but don't give the child an out. I see so many parents who are rushed. Let us work our way through it. We're here for the child, and we know how to handle the children. But oftentimes, and to be moderately critical, I see parents giving 3-year-olds options. We don't have to swim today. Or you don't have to go underwater, or you're not going to, and the parent makes this commitment at home to the child, and all of a sudden they come to us and say, well, here, take him in the water, but I told him he doesn't have to go under. Well, that totally disempowers the teacher, and it gives the child empowerment to, whatever. What I would say, honestly, is if you have a child who has a stressful day in swim lesson, leave the pool and don't mention it again. Because any feedback is positive feedback. If you, as a parent, all of a sudden you're saying to the child, it'll be better next week. Don't worry about it. You're going to be with Teacher Johnny, and it'll be better. And don't worry. That tells that child all week long that, wow, look at the attention I'm getting because I had a difficult time. Well, I'm going to have a difficult time again because I'm going to get more attention. And make it neutral. You don't build a child up. You don't talk to him 5 days ahead about getting his shots. You just show up with the pediatricians and they get it. You get through the 10 minutes of the screaming and you leave. Well, if you leave the pool or your swim lessons and leave the lesson behind, leave it to the professionals, okay? And then when the child comes the next time, it's like, here. And again, you have to look at the program. You have to trust the program. You don't want to be engaged in a program that doesn't match your family values. But at some point, somebody's got to be the parent. And
it's true.
You have to, have your child understand that you are making a good judgment for them. It's a quality program and that they love their children. And, if you give them the out, they're going to grab it every time. Kids
It's true. It's
pasta
true.
every meal.
Positive, what? Whether it's positive or negative reinforcement, they don't care. They want your attention. Pay lots of attention to your children. Bob, thanks so much for being on the show today. I will put all your information about how to get in touch with the Hubbard Swim School on my website. You have a great time at your camping meetings, and I will talk to you again. Thanks for being on the show. Have a great day.
Thank you for the opportunity. It was delightful.
Take care. Bye-bye. Wow, such important information. And speaking of safety, my guest next week will be Nancy Dastrup. She's from the Arizona Child Proofers, and we are going to continue talking about keeping our little ones safe in our homes. Nancy knows her stuff. I will tell you that. So I can't wait to talk to her. Also, don't forget to go to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest. And my websites, I share lots of information. And I talked about my baby Jake. I want you to meet baby Jake on mybestparentingadvice.com. And don't forget to like me on Facebook and Twitter. I try to post tips. And if you have questions, contact me. You can set up a phone appointment with me if you call my office at 480-510-1453. And let's see what I have for the end of the show. I'm feeling full of love today. You know what? I want to leave you with these two wonderful gems from Alan Klein's book called Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, Celebrating Each Day to the Fullest. What the world really needs is more love and less paperwork from Pearl Bailey. And Mahatma Gandhi said, where there's love, there's life. That's so true. Love doing my show. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you all have a great rest of the week and take time to spend even a half hour with your little ones each day. You know what? The dishes can wait. The laundry can wait. They grow up so quickly. Before you know it, they're going to be asking for the keys and going, oh, Mom, oh, Dad, you know what? And they're not going to answer you. How was school? And they're going to say, fine. I can tell you from experience. So, again, have a great rest of the week. See you next time. Bye-bye.